Let's see how this works. The forward lean represents posture and overall body position.
All right, arms up in position A, relax the shoulders down, look down and just take a fall forward so you get a sense of the lean. Right off, everything gets set up by that.
We want to see the run tall posture that is so often spoken of, but with a slight overall forward lean. This is what creates the falling motion that utilizes gravity to maintain momentum. The lean is slight and from the ankles. The hips and knees are straight upon full leg extension. There is a slight low back arch which can be more pronounced with the female athlete, of which an excess is to be avoided at all costs. The stronger athletes have almost no arch to the low back. This attests to great core strength, balance and coordination. Drop the front of the torso so that the chest and pelvis align. The lean must be from the ankles and not the waist. Attempt to maintain an almost straight line from ankle to ear, looking some 35 foot ahead, no more. Control the speed with the lean. Upright is slower and more lean is faster. Improved lean brings about greater speed. However, too much lean can lead to over-rotation, which is ineffective, and can lead to bending at the hips, which is ineffectual and can lead to injury. Some runners report running too fast for their cardiovascular system. They're just leaning too much and need only come upright until they feel comfortable. However, in the late stages of a race, this is the quickest way to initiate and maintain your sprint to the finish line. Now let's get to power application. Running propulsion is largely a function of elastic return, so the way the foot is placed is a major determinant of running success. The leg does not just fall to the surface. It is applied and loaded like a pogo stick. It is essential to remember, however, that the propulsive phase of the leg action, i.e. extension, is unloaded. This means that the leg extends and knee opens by pushing the foot downwards under the body using the glute and quad muscles from the highest position the knee reached in front until the foot is applied to the surface. There is no conscious pushing while the leg and foot is loaded. After impact, guided momentum takes over. The foot arch or plantar fascia and Achilles tendon load. Up to 50% of elastic energy is stored here during mid-stance. The great series of rubber bands that are the extended muscles and tendons then release their stored energy into the toe-off. What exactly occurs during this phase is a point of some debate. Force plate research clearly shows that the runner must apply downward force to load the leg for rapid return. The trick is to apply the downward extension of the leg early enough, i.e. from the point where the knee has reached its highest point on the forward swing phase, till the foot contacts the surface. This means that the active propulsion phase is when the leg is unloaded. As soon as the foot contacts the ground, the structure is held rigid so that the musculature can load elastically, and when momentum, aided by the correct lean, places the body sufficiently past its center of mass, the spring can unload and power the body forward. The more powerful this downward push, the greater the corresponding elastic knee lift of that leg in preparation for the next step. The better this sequence is performed, the closer the runner gets to the ideal ratio of 5 parts elastic return to 1 part power application. This is free speed at its best. This is in direct opposition to the launch and drop style of running, where the power component is greatly increased and the fall to the ground dissipates shock as opposed to loading elastically. Relative to the torso, where the foot first hits the ground is very important. The triathlete must attempt to have foot contact occur as close to directly underneath the pelvis or center of mass as possible. This will ensure the least and shortest amount of braking possible. Thinking has drifted towards shock absorption with the advent of high-tech running shoes, but as sprint coaches say, the track is your friend and provides the base off which running takes place. The more effectively the leg can load onto the surface, the less shock it needs to absorb, the more elastic energy it can store, and the more powerfully and economically it can return this power to the runner. Whether the midfoot or the heel should strike the surface first is a point of great debate. What is more important is that the shock is best diverted and the leg is most effectively loaded elastically. Most athletes are heel strikers, meaning the heel hits the ground first. If you are a heel striker and not in search of an Olympic berth or a professional career in the sport, it would be best to remain this way. Unless your foot strike is hurting your performance, learning to run on the forefoot can be difficult and in many cases leads to soleus and Achilles injuries. I suggest that as a heel striker, you reduce the angle between the forefoot and the heel. Have this angle be as slight as possible. Ensure that the foot is rolling like a partial wheel as soon as the heel strikes the surface. This to better load and dissipate impact.